So here's the thing, before I read the options, because one of the last chapters said that you can get through this without having the stats. So if you have the stats, you can go through certain options, and considering I have speed and strength, I am really inclined to go for any option that might take advantage of that. Let's read what the options are. Attack Gontok together with Layla while he's defending himself. Try to convince Gontok that our weapons are in fact as sharp as Darren's sword. That doesn't really help. If he feels that, he will just attack us. Try to find a way to defeat Gontok without using any of your weapons. How would we do that? He's clearly faster than us as well, considering he caught up to us almost immediately. Tell Layla that we shouldn't take the bet and that we should fight Gontok together instead. I mean, why are we talking about this? Shouldn't we just attack it while he's in defending himself? I think we should just blitz him. I mean, he's probably on the defensive with us as well, but I think we should blitz him. And yeah, I don't have toughness though. Oh, shit. Without toughness, this might be an endgame thing. I think we're just gonna blitz him. Attack Gontok together with Layla while he's in defending himself. Ready when you are, Princess, Gontok says. I'll start counting the 60 seconds as soon as you hit your first attack. Layla nods, and almost immediately afterwards, it dashes towards her adversary in the same way that she did the first time she attacked him, trying to slit his throat with both her daggers at the same exact time. I also make a rush for Gontok, using my own dagger to try and cut through his neck from behind. Despite my best efforts, however, our blades are easily stopped by Gontok's thick skin, and neither of our cuts is deep enough to even draw blood. Seriously? I thought I got a better dagger. Didn't I get a better dagger at some point? Oh no, we bought a better... No, we did get one. We bought a better crossbow, and we got a better scimitar from defeating the one ogre or orc or whatever. But this is insane. I don't recall giving you permission to attack me at the same time as her runt, Gontok tells us as he turns his head slightly in that direction. Who says I need your permission, I say as I strike him one more time. Cheeky as always, I say, Gontok says. Looks like I'll have to break that arm of yours to teach you a proper lesson once this is over. After a few more unsuccessful attempts at cutting Gontok's throat, Layla suddenly decides to change her target this time, instead to stab her opponent in the eye instead. Predictably, this forced Gontok to retrieve, making a quick jump backwards toward Layla's blade. Hey now, Gontok tells Layla, looking mildly upset. That wasn't part of our deal. I thought I said you are allowed to slit my throat or cut my head off, not to stab me in the eye. I said I would slit your throat and cut your head off or whatever. Layla writes, the whatever part of your statement implies that I could also attack you in other ways I see fit. What I meant by that was that you could attack me in whatever way you want, as long as you're still aiming for my neck, Gontok says. Then maybe you should have been more specific with your phrasing, Layla writes. You tried to stab me in the damn eye, Gontok says. You now looking a bit angrier than before. You broke our arrangements. So did you by moving away from your spot before the 60 seconds were up. Layla writes, from my point of view, you are the one who lost the bet, not me. It appears that we are an impasse then, Gontok says with his eyebrows furrowed. So it would seem, Layla writes. I really didn't want to do this, but it looks like I've no choice, Gontok says. I'm sure that the king would rather have you brought to him with a broken wrist or two than not at all. I should warn you that I won't be taking it easy on you anymore from now on. Prepare yourself. Less talking, more fighting, Layla writes. As you wish, Gontok says. Layla, let's fight him together, I say. Then nods at me, then we both get in our battle senses, waiting for Gontok to initiate the brawl. Ooh, see, it did help. I mean, if he attacks us and it hits, we are dead. Because toughness is 0, but still. Reflexes check successful, level 4. Speed check successful, level 4. The giant takes a few steps towards Layla, looking as if he were about to attack her at any minute, but then a few seconds he turns around and makes a dash for me instead. I step out of the way just in time, but he immediately closes the distance between me again and he tries to smash my head in with his right fist. Thankfully, I manage to get away from him once more. But even with my speed stat max, the giant is still able to keep up with me, which means that all I can do for now is continue running around the cave, dodging every one of his attacks at the last second while hoping to eventually give him the slip. So maybe we should have gotten up when we were sleeping. That would have gotten us out of this mess instead of, resting for a few more minutes. We should have gone for the you are ugly option, because she would have definitely slapped us if that was the case. While hoping to eventually give him the slip. When I'm distracting Gontok, Layla is somehow able to position herself behind him, but instead of attacking him while his back is turned, she moves to his side so she can try to stab him in the eye again. This forces my opponent to stop chasing me for a few moments so he can defend himself. As I'm getting the brief moment of respite, I cannot help but notice that there's something strange going on with Gontok's aura. Although I can't exactly tell what's wrong with it at a simple glance. If I want to figure out what's going on, I would need at least focus on his aura for at least a few seconds, leaving myself completely vulnerable in the process. Could this be worth the risk? Normally, this would be worth the risk if I had magical sense. Since we don't, I think this would be awful. So ignore Gontok's aura, focus on the fight. Oh, combat technique check failed. I only have one in combat technique. Decided I shouldn't waste the precious little time I have looking at an aura, that I should try to formulate a plan of attack instead. Unfortunately, Layla's distractor does not work for very long. Gontok soon attacks me once again with an extremely quick punch, making me jump back in order to dodge him. As I am once more struggling to avoid Gontok's seemingly endless attacks, I keep trying to figure out a way to beat him without using weapons, but after going through all the plausible scenarios in my head, the only realistic solution I can think of is to still keep evading until he gives up, either from fatigue or from boredom. There are two of us. As long as we can conserve our stamina properly, by having him attack us in turns, we might be able to pull it off. After I dodge a few more of his strikes, Gontok suddenly stops chasing me, and he gives me a look of utter contempt as he watches me waited for him at a relatively safe distance. What exactly are you trying to do here? Avoid my attacks until I decide to leave you alone out of boredom? Gontok says. Oh, he read our mind. You better take this fight seriously. We don't want to end up plastered on the wall. Shouldn't you be saying things like that after you managed to hit me at least once? I asked Gontok. Not to be rude or anything, but your threats are feeling kind of empty right now. I will hit you as soon as you stop running around in circles like some chicken without a head, Gontok says angrily. Would you fight like a man instead of continuing to disgrace yourself acting in such a cowardly way? I will fight however I please. Thank you very much, I tell him. Then I will give you a death that you deserve, Gontok says, the death of a cowardly, pathetic coward. He jumps at me. He begins to attack me with an elaborate series of feints that are meant to trick my overly sensitive reflexes into making me dodge at the wrong time, thus leaving myself vulnerable. I'm able to predict his feints the first few times. Eventually it gets too hard to guess, and he's about to hit me for real and not. So I have no choice but to begin relying exclusively on reflexes to evade his attacks. This is unfortunately exactly what Gontok was waiting for, and as soon as he sees me dodging one of his feints, he immediately follows up with a punch so hard that it goes right through my head. It shatters my cranium in a single moment. They all aim for the head. Like every single attack is like always like the head gets blown off or whatever. So there's no point in attacking them together. So let's focus on something else. Let's try to find a way to defeat Gontok without using any of our weapons instead. That would probably work if we can figure out his aura or whatever. Even if we don't have the aura detection thing, we should be able to still like stand in place and detect what's happening, even if it takes a few more seconds. Okay, so I've probably only got a few seconds until Layla starts attacking Gontok. What could we possibly do to defeat him without using our weapons? So I didn't select that one. Okay, and I did select that one. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm probably only got a few seconds until Layla starts attacking Gontok. What could you possibly do to defeat him without using our weapons? Think, Barry, think. Ready when you are, Princess, Gontok says. Start counting the 60 seconds as soon as you hit your first attack. Layla nods and almost immediately, yeah, we already seen all that. Is that all you got? Gontok taunts her. Nira was hoping for an actual challenge. What a disappointment. As Layla begins to hit again, I suddenly come up with an idea that might just work. But I won't know for sure until I test it out. Let's give it a try. I move behind Gontok and join the fingers of my right hand together. Then I use them to hit the back of his neck several times while closely monitoring the flow of his aura. You stop trying to prick my neck, you damn imbecile, Gontok says. Have you gone mad? I said stop it. What's the matter, Gontok? Layla writes, afraid of a little massage. I'm not afraid of anything, Gontok says furiously. He can massage me all he wants, but as soon as your 60 seconds are up, he's dead. I ignore Gontok's rambling. I continued with what I was doing. If my gut feeling is right, if I try variation of Layla's... We didn't learn that though. Try a variation of Layla's father massage technique, I might be able to disrupt the giant's aura enough to get him to drop off his feet, which make him automatically lose his bet with Layla since he is not allowed to move. All I need to do is find the right pressure points. We will fail at that though. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be going as well as I had hoping. Maybe it would be a better idea to ask Layla for help, since she clearly knows how to use her father's technique better than I do. Layla, could you try to do the same thing I'm doing, but from the opposite side? I say, I'm trying to improvise a modified version of your father's massage technique, but I can't quite seem to get what I'm doing wrong. But why would you wait? I think I understand what you're going for, Layla writes as she looks more closely at the movements of my hand. Let me see if I can figure out how to do it properly.